For today's foundation, the first thing I did is applied a moisturiser first, really worked it into the skin, and then went ahead and applied foundation. After that, I wanted to apply a little bit of lip balm, which I'm going to leave on my lips for the next few minutes so that by the time I do get to the lipstick at the end of the tutorial, they'll be nicely moisturised and I won't have to worry about them. Now for the brows, I'm going to be using a glue stick, and this one is a Pritt stick, and you're going to probably need to apply quite a few coats, especially if you have thicker brows. So while I'm waiting for it to dry, I went ahead and applied some eye primer, and you want to run your fingers over your brows just to make sure there aren't any stray hairs sticking up, and you're probably going to need to apply a few coats to get it completely flat. Even for me, I didn't manage to get it completely flat, but it was as good as it was going to get. So once the glue had dried, I went ahead and applied some foundation over that so that I knew where I would need to cover a little bit more. Applied some foundation, and then I went over that with powder. And now we're going to move on to the cheeks. Now you can either stick to a contour or a blush, but I'm going to be using both colours, and since a lot of pictures of Édith Piaf are in black and white, it's quite hard to tell exactly what colours would have been used. But I would have been very, very surprised if blush wasn't used. Contour maybe not so much, which is why I want to mix the contour colours and the blush. Now for the eyeshadow, obviously I've already applied the primer, but I'm going to be mixing the three colours I showed you earlier. And what you want to do is you really want to accentuate the crease of your eyebrows, especially in the inner corner. So try and drag that colour up towards the start of the brows, bring it down and around to the very bottom of your outer corner. And the whole idea of this look is that you're trying to accentuate quite a sad look, because Édith Piaf did have quite a very sad look, and if you know anything about her life, it was really quite a tragic life, so that probably explains it. But this is the look that we're trying to replicate, so especially in the inner corner of the eye right here, you want to try and layer that colour and maybe bring in a bit more grey and a little less brown to make it look more like a shadow and less like eyeshadow. Now for the eyeliner, try and keep this as close to the lash line, but especially on the inner corner, if you make it a tiny bit thicker, it's going to exaggerate that sad look. Now drawing in the eyebrows, I think this is the part that's going to panic a lot of people, but it's very easy to do if you do some dots first. So first thing you can do is use a white eyeliner if you want, that way it's a little bit easier to remove, or something which is closer to your own skin tone. Apply some dots and then follow that line until you get a really clean line. Try not to get it curving too much, they do need to be quite flat. But again, Édith Piaf's eyebrows did change a little bit, especially over time. If you look at pictures from her earlier years and her later years, there are a few small differences, so don't worry if it's not completely perfect. Now for the lips, the main thing is that on the outer corner of the lips, you want to overdraw it and drag the colour out a little bit more. So you are going to be overlining, but we're not going to have any harsh curves. They're going to be very soft curves, and then on the lower lip, you want to draw inside the lip line, not outside. So while the top is all about drawing over the lip line, the lower lip, you want to try and keep that inside the lip line and keep it very much of a China doll lip. Try and get that as neat as you can. And then I'm going to be applying some false lashes, and then that same colour I used in the crease, I'm going to bring that even more on the lower lid just to make the eyes appear a little bit more sad. After that, you just want to finish off with all black clothes, a little bit of lace, and that's it. You're done.
Nestled in a ship of glass, you're plucked straight from